We are on our first critique of the semester, so I'm going to show you how to get there first. In Schoology, I want you to have number 1, the course handbook pulled up, which is right at the top of the page here, and it opens up and looks like that. The second thing I need you to open is toward the bottom of the page in the white process journal assignments folder, which you do not have to open all the way. You can just drop that arrow down and hit PJ number 1 introduction. You are all familiar with this folder because that's where your assignment is, but if you scroll down to the bottom, to the critique slides, hit open editor on there, and you will open up the critique here. So this is our first critique session. I do not expect you to have all the answers and know all the things the first time around. I am giving you all of the tools now, so you'll have all semester to practice with them, and we'll talk even greater in detail about each of these things that I bring up today through the semester. This is simply a very short introduction video to get you started on the critique so that you know how to talk about art just a little bit, okay? So first things first with the critique slides. In order to participate in the critique, which this time around is a silent critique, which means that you do not have to talk out loud and you don't have to share your work in front of the whole class, we're going to be doing it through this Google Slideshow, which has permissions for you to edit. So what you'll do is you'll go to slide 2, you'll copy that slide, so you'll go over to the left side here and copy it, and then click all the way underneath this pink slide here. Do not paste it up here in these first 3 slides. You're going to go below slide number 4 and paste it. You'll answer the 3 questions just very quickly, nothing too wild or long, and then you'll put your photo there. Here's my example. So I answered the questions real quick. I talked about a couple of my favorite squares, and then I told how I thought it turned out. I put my name on there, and then I've got my photo in there that is of acceptable quality so that everybody can see as many details as possible. So make sure your photo is looking good. All right, so now for the handbook part. You've got your slide all set up, and when we come back from break, we're going to end up actually commenting on other people's slides. So what you'll do is you'll come over to your handbook and you're going to go to slide 29. Slide 29 and slide 30, as well as slides 32 and 33, are going to be in, maybe 31 too. So basically 29 through 33 are going to be of a lot of use for you today. So that's where we're going to kind of start with. What you will have here before you for the critique is number 1, this vocabulary of aesthetics. So basically these are descriptive words for things that are in the artwork that you're looking at. Instead of just saying something is colorful, you can come over to the color value area and say, oh, this work is vibrant and natural, okay? Then you've got 2 words there to use. This is here for you as a cheat sheet during critiques so that you can accurately describe your classmates' artwork. This next slide here are the critique sentence starters that you will be using for this activity. So I expect you to comment on every one of your classmates' works using these sentence starters. So these are vast and varied. There's lots of ways you could use these. The first 2 here, I'm going to go over what those are after I show you this. So I'm going to skip those and I'm going to go to the rest of them. Something the artist does well in this piece is, something I'd like to ask the artist is, the artist uses color in this piece by, the artist uses texture or value. One thing I notice about this piece is that I like that the artist chose blank because blank. And something I'd like to ask I have that on there twice, y'all. Look at me. Okay, I'll delete that one. So lots of things to choose from to comment on your classmates' artwork. Notice that none of these are critical, so I'm going to go back to our classroom contract up here a little bit and talk about how, actually I'm going to go to this one. We are respectful, open-minded, kind, participating and communicating in this. So that does not mean destructive words are used on somebody else's artwork, which does not happen. I've never seen it happen. Everybody respects this rule generally, but I think that it's worth stating that we are going to be kind, and we're not judging. Critique is not judging. It's just noticing what is in someone else's artwork, pointing out the things, you know, and maybe giving suggestions, but for the most part, just, you know, noticing. So below here, you've got this visual representation of what I'm about to show you. The elements and principles of design help you plan and organize your artwork. So the elements are like the tools, and then the principles are like how the tools are used to create it. So like the elements are like, you know, I'll show you. That's easier for me to show you. So these are the visual representations of the elements, and here are all the definitions. I will be throwing these definitions at you all semester, so don't worry about memorizing or knowing everything now. I'm just giving it to you now. So the elements of art are line, shape, form, color, texture, value, and space. You'll have some time today before break to look at these lists and read each definition by yourself, as well as the principles of design, which are rhythm, balance, proportion, contrast, emphasis, harmony, composition, and repetition. Throughout the semester, I will be going through these elements and principles of design in my presentations with you. All of the examples will be in here, but as I go along in the semester, they will be in the process journal presentations as well. So I'll explain them to you in detail as we go. But I wanted to mention this word composition. Composition is how artwork is designed. It's the overall arrangement of all the elements and principles of design, and there may be lots of ways that your composition is. If you would like to look through all of these slides before we start the actual commenting portion of the critique, you are welcome to, but know that during our critique today, you're only expected to use slides 29 through 33. So what you could do, going back to these first two, let's say I want to comment on this. I'm going to use this first one by saying the elements of design, this artwork uses elements of design, and I notice that I have lines in there, so I'm going to talk about line, I'm going to talk about shape and color. So those are three things that I see in this artwork here. And then I would grab my sentence starter. So I got line, I was thinking line, shape, and color. Oops, I did that wrong. And then now I'm going to go over and comment on it. Two ways to comment. You can click on this little box here, hit add comment, and paste it in. And I have just created my first comment. I'm done. And I only had to type a little bit. So I thought about, what does this work have in it? Well, I see that Miss Tabor is using line. I see that she's using shapes. And I see that she's using colors in here. So without even really knowing the definitions, you can start to understand some of these. Now, if you're like, I don't know what line is at all, Miss Tabor, you have the option to go down to the line slide, which is slide 39, and slide 40, and look at some artwork that gives examples of line, and that also gives you a bigger definition of line. So these definitions are very short, whereas these are more polished and larger, okay? So that's the only difference. Same thing for the principles of design. So let's say I wanted to comment on the principles. I would simply copy it, and then the other way to comment is to right click or control click, whatever your computer is, and hit comment from there. And then I'm going to paste my principles, and the principles of design I see are, let's look at our list. Definitely balance. There's some symmetrical balance. If you want more information on that, you can scroll down to the balance slide and it'll give you more information. I see harmony. There's definitely a lot of harmony going on, and repetition because of the boxes. So we've got symmetrical balance, harmony, and repetition. All right. So these are two, I am not typing correctly today. Okay, so those are my two example chats, comments there. So that's what you will do to comment on your classmates' artwork, but that'll be after the break. So before the break, we're just going to focus on getting your artwork into this and looking at slides 29 through 33, and then also browsing through slides 34 through 70. So there's quite a lot. Like I said, we'll go over it this semester again, so no worries if you do not understand all of it today. I want you to have it there for you to use and test it out, play with it a little bit, have fun with it, and then I want you to comment on every one of your classmates' work using all of these starters. So not just two. You can't just use the same one. I'm actually going to be going through and looking and seeing what everybody's comments were on your classmates' artwork. So be thoughtful with these. Notice what people have done in the work. Point out things that are cool, and enjoy this.